This show is powered by the True School podcast, and we
Smacking.
want to thank you for tuning
Smacking.
in.
We was raised on these mics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was raised by Mike too.
that's right.
Like
two,
that?
two of them.
Yeah.
Ain't no freestyle on the podcast.
Oh, come on.
Get this.
You know what? This is the beauty of. I remember I told you about how I related like hip hop to like wrestling or any sports.
Yeah.
And the way you are in sports, like the more athletic you are, the better you are at freestyling, just because your brain works differently. And
So is that vice versa? Is better freestyle, better athlete?
I think so.
Okay. Interesting
I think
concept
so.
there. Wow.
You ready, Gene?
Oh, that wasn't recorded? It's recorded. Okay.
Is it? So, can I share that story?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I used to coach wrestling. Oh my God, it's been so long now. I stopped coaching in 2015, but I started coaching like 2 years out of high school, and for me, it was just about paying it forward and giving back to the next to help them get better, or whatever. So, when I became head coach at Milwaukee Pulaski, like in 2010, I made it mandatory for all our athletes to freestyle on the way back from a tournament, whatever. Like we weigh in Ashwaubenon, we got a 2-hour ride. So just to kind of break the ice with each other.
Right.
And I will make everybody freestyle. And like the kids that like the juniors and seniors, the kids that was like really good, they had no problem. Not to say that they was like just the best in the world, but they had the confidence to be able to freestyle. It takes confidence a little bit. And those are the kids who been wrestling for years, and they just had a lot of repetition with wrestling moves, whatever. So that kind of translated into freestyle. They was able to freestyle. But the kids that was like first year wrestlers, they would not freestyle. We would have to like hold them down, like you better freestyle now or whatever. But them same kids, as they got better, once they became juniors and seniors, they were the one freestyling. Now the better athlete they became, the easier it was, the more confidence they had, the more ability they had to freestyle. Even if they mess up or whatever, they would still do it. So I always love that parallel, because you still see athletes to this day always want to rap. Always want to rap. And, if it's like Damian Lillard, Shaq, Kobe, everybody always want to rap. And
AB,
I think
the new cat, the new rapper, athlete guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would even say, hip hop people want to be athletes too on the certain spectrum. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so that's that.
Boom. So that's how we're going to start it out. It's the pipeline. Welcome to the True School podcast. We are here today with the one and only
Yo.
TRUEman Mcgee.
All right, this is
Little
fun.
bruh.
Yes, sir.
Finally here. Finally
Man.
made it. So this is great. TRUEman started before the podcast started, because TRUEman don't stop, actually.
Yeah.
He always on go. It's all he know.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You think I'm from Chicago, because I'm always on the go.
I told you, this guy.
I'm from the mill, though.
From the ill mill.
Yeah.
So let's go back a little bit, since we're going to talk about the ill mill, your
Yeah.
wrestling. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap it all
How
up.
long do we got? 'Cause I'm trying to figure out, do this long story or the short story?
We're going to do the short, long version.
All right, got it.
All right, the short, long version, because
medium.
we've been knowing each other for a long time.
Like, as long as I can remember, you've been in my life.
That's what it is. You don't have no memories before that. I was there.
Yeah, you was there. You was like
All right,
always there.
cool.
Like, I don't know where you came from, but
Cool.
you just became a brother of mine.
Facts. Been knowing TRUEman since he was knee high, playing with fat crayons.
Yeah.
Running around the backyard with all the other brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So I seen the come up, the glow up, the grow up.
Yeah.
All of that. I'm super proud of you, bro.
Man, I appreciate it.
I'm so proud of you. I can't even understate it. You know what I tell you all the time. It's an exciting thing to watch so many other people receive your gift.
Yeah.
You understand? TRUEman is just someone that I always think about. We laugh about it all the time, of the memories of back in the day or whatever, right? But we had a lot of youngsters that ended up under our tutelage, and TRUEman was one that started very early.
Yeah.
Under the tutelage of our crew, under the tutelage of his brothers and this brotherhood that we created. And so TRUEman has always been such a personality, had his own just energy that he just everywhere at all times, even as a youngster.
Mm-hmm.
So now this TRUEman that everybody's getting to know now, I'm like, yo, they don't know. This is TRUEman amplified.
This is like it's always been there. Like
Always.
So one of my earliest memories in general of just me living my like best ultimate life was I remember, like, if you look in the back of a T-shirt, it would say whatever Hanes, and it say TM under it, or whatever. If it was Cocoa Puffs, they had TM under it. So I always, my name's TRUEman Mcgee, so I thought that TM meant my name. I'm like, I'm meant to be everywhere, right? And I like visualized that as a kid.
Word.
On top of having just a lot of positive influences in my life, like you guys, I looked up to y'all, and just me being creative was just like everything to me. And I seen you guys create great music, and that literally is my first like memories of hip hop, and just having like a more deeper understanding than most people. I always loved hip hop and how people relate hip hop to life, or it's just like it's a culture for real.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was like I said, TM. I was like, I'm gonna be there. And then my dad didn't help because he told me I could do whatever. And I believed it. My dad was like, whatever you want to do, you could do it, and I truly believed it. I'm like, okay, well, if my dad said it must be true then, right?
Big shout out to the commander. We cannot understate
Yeah.
who your dad is.
Yeah.
Because he is a whole superhero.
Yeah.
So him telling you that you could do anything.
It meant everything to me. So my dad's Mike Mcgee, Sr. He was a Vietnam veteran at 19 years old. He had 11 kids. He started a lot of meal programs, started Warren Basketball League. He was an alderman in the city, founder of the Black Panther militia, and just to me, he was dad. A lot of people would be like, they think that we'd be on some straight militant stuff at home, and my dad just sitting us down and reading like Marcus Garvey books or whatever. And really, my dad was just dad. He was like go fishing and do everything. But to the world, he's like, this dude. They flipped some police cars over and everything, and they burnt tires on their like a lot of stuff which seemed extreme. But now as a man, I'm like, damn, he wasn't wrong. He wanted the best for the black community. That doesn't mean he didn't want anything else for anybody else. He just wanted the fair share, and he went to extreme methods to show like this is what I'm willing to do to for the community. And as a kid, like seeing it on the news, and then he like watching Lion King with us, it's like, oh, dang, Daddy, you don't want to talk about what you just did? That you on the news right now? You're like, don't worry, like Mufasa's about to die. So, but for me now, it's like Dad wasn't, he wasn't wrong.
It wasn't
he wasn't wrong.
Not at all. Not at all. And I was introduced to your dad at a very young age in the community by a flyer about a rally in the alley. You know what I mean? And that was one of my first encounters, like, who is this? What is this? And it caught my attention. And I was like, thinking about, wow, this is happening in our city, in our community. And this is stuff you read about in the history books. This is stuff you read about or see documentaries on. And it was happening in our environment. So it was nothing that could keep me away from it at 15. Nothing that could keep me away from it. Not my own parents couldn't keep me away from it. And so this is a good fast forward, into the now, to be able to say all of that has happened as a child, and all these things that you experienced that you don't have any control over, or you didn't really necessarily understand maybe, but now you can reflect and piece it all together, and it adds up to who you are today and where you at right now. Yeah,
so I would say those experiences definitely molded me to who I am now, and just part of my mission as a food entrepreneur is like on the healthier foods. That's like a lot of people figure like, well, your dad was into politics, and are you gonna go into that route? And I just feel like that wasn't for me. But it's so many obstacles or that we have as people of color that we could tackle. And for me, like healthier foods is one of them. Like access to healthier foods. So and that came from as a kid. Like my mom, she was a master cook, and she was an MPS teacher, but then she cooked in the summertime. She was a caterer, and she's always used fresh ingredients. I always use nothing boxed, and I didn't even know that existed until like I was older. Like that, you could get macaroni and cheese out of a box. What? Mom, won't you do that? It's quicker, or whatever. Like no, but just access to real foods. And my love of food came mainly from my mom.
Man,
so
much love to Mama McGee.
Yeah.
She used to lay all the feasts out.
I used to like enjoy I know Sunday everybody, the whole community was gonna be at our house or whatever, because mom was straight throw down. Actually, the turkey burger recipe is like my mom's recipe.
Oh, nice.
We call it Mama Knew Love.
Wow.
Funky, we're gonna get into Funky Fresh Burgers a little bit later, but so my love for cooking, kind of full surface came back as an adult. I went to in high school, went to Milwaukee Tech, and Still wanted to be, I think at the root of it, just me being creative was always the mission. So I went to Milwaukee Tech. I wrestled. Was I think a okay wrestler. Then I had the opportunity in high school to like either go to college and wrestle, which is the worst reason to go to college to play a sport. It wasn't go to college to get a degree. It was to go to college, become a national champ, become a Olympian. I'm like, dude, no, that's the worst idea. So, or I could get into culinary school because I did love cooking. With wrestling, you gotta stay on you gotta make weight, you gotta keep a good diet. So I always cooked for myself and my teammates, but I didn't know nobody that was a chef. So and that's something huge too. If you don't know nobody that look like you that's a chef, it's like it might not even seem real or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then getting to trade, which Tech specialized in, and there was plenty of people that looked at us in the trade, and it felt like a solid career. It didn't feel like my dream job, but it felt like it was stable. And you 18, 19, you want to grasp onto something stable for me at least. And then so that's what I picked. So I went into I graduated on June 4th, 2002. Dang, anybody born after 2002 in here? God. After, young people, you.
So before you was born.
Before you were born,
youngin.
So the next day I started working. Like literally, I went to Milwaukee Tech, and my first job ever was at Bradley Tech, the new school that they built. So I'm like on the bus with the people I was just go to school with the day before or whatever. So I did that for like almost 10 years, and I just realized that I didn't love it. I did it, and I did it just because I thought it was stable. And I would never forget when I was in high school, one of the tradespeople that used to come to school like, man, you don't want to go to college. You're going to get into a lot of debt. You don't want to be in a culinary school because if you be a chef, you're going to work on the weekends and you work all day. You won't get to party. If you become working a trade, you're going to work 40 hours. You're going to get to party on the weekend and you're going to get benefits. I'm like, wait, hold on. You said I get to party on the weekends? Sign me up, whatever. So that was the worst reason either. And he actually was lying because I was always laid off. I never got 40 hours. I was working 30, 29, 28 hours. And I remember seeing him a couple years later because they wanted me to speak at high schools to, like, recruit kids. And he like, man, just lie as much as possible. I'm like, what? That's what he literally told me. He told me to lie. And I was like, nah, I can't do that. So I'm like, let me tell you.
Should we call him out?
Kurt Nichols, I don't know if you working still, but you lied, bruh.
You was wrong. You was dead wrong.
But anyway, like, it worked out for me because I was able to tell the kids the truth. Like, no, learning the trade still is good. It's like, it's plenty of work. I did sheet metal, so anything dealing with any type of metal, like, you literally take a flat piece of metal and turn it into anything. You weld it, you could bend it, you could do all, like, I love the creative process of it, but just the type of work environment, you work, like, you're the only black dude working on a job with 100 other people. It's like dudes from Muskego and McGuanago. It's like it's tough to connect with each other. And, then at the same time, my brother was in the news, and that was tough because it's like they open the newspaper and your brother's there. And I might break, and I'm sitting next to him. They just talking junk about my brother or whatever. And it's like, it's tough to, like, bite your tongue. And if you ain't one of the good old boys or you ain't, like, going golfing or anything, you won't stay working. For me, it was, like, about work. And a lot of times where I wouldn't do extracurricular activities, like, well, he ain't cool or whatever. So we just if somebody had to get laid off, it's always me.
You the first one to be gone.
So
sure.
I did that all the way until like 2009, 2010. I became a journeyman, which is essentially like getting your master's degree in construction. And the day I became a journeyman, I got laid off. So it's like 8 o'clock. They're like, all right, you become a journeyman. You going from making $28 an hour to $42 an hour. I'm like, oh my God, for the ball out, everybody, And literally at 2:30, they said, we ain't got enough work. We'll call you back, whatever. And I'm just like, wow. I put all these hours to go to school, and I bought a new truck at the time. I wanted to show I was like more of a solid employee. I got my own tools. I did everything you possibly could do to be like, this guy is serious. He wants to be part of this business, and just to get laid off. So initially, I took it personal, but as a entrepreneur now, I get it. Like this is what it is, and I kind of use that little grudge to start my next entrepreneurial endeavors, which was
hold on.
Yeah,
I'll stop. You see, TRUEman be going. He go quick. I don't want you to glide over none of these jewels. I just want to give it a little second to
let it
settle.
marinate.
Boom. Yeah, because that was a lot of bars.
Yeah.
Boom. So now, that instance that happened, did it put you in a place of anger or bitterness? I know you said it led you to start your other business, but I also know that you were in a personal place, not just circumstantial that happened, but you was in a personal place that also led you to start that first business.
Absolutely. So
Was that connected?
oh, it was absolutely. It was like a perfect storm of everything, happening where, it just needed to happen. So, like I said, from 2002 to 2009, like being an adult, I feel like getting out of my mom's house and getting out of that good home, cooking healthier foods. And I call myself, oh my God, that's so funny. I call myself a dollar menu-naire. So you go to McDonald's at the time, and I think the dollar menu came out in the 2000s, right? Like, I'm talking about, y'all might not remember, but a double cheeseburger was $1. Not whatever it is, that's $2. It used to be $1. So with $5, you get 3 double cheeseburgers, a sweet tea, and you get apple pie or whatever. That's like, and now they got the calories and stuff back there, and they didn't have the calories.
Oh, no.
I was smashing. That's just one meal.
Yeah.
That's probably like 2,000 calories in one meal. So.
And you can do that a couple times a day on $5.
Oh God! Well, $5.25 with tax. So. You young and you at the time was partying a lot, and from 20 to 25, you just don't know no better. I feel like 20 to 25 is like they should call that a teenager too. You essentially like an old teenager
In America.
Yeah, in America. Yeah, I really I made a lot of mistakes with my credit. Took on a lot of unnecessary credit. Got credit cards, which if I was on my deathbed right now, I'd tell you take care of your credit at a young age, and the world is yours, whatever. So, and just like the mixture of partying, eating out, and just kind of living a non-purpose filled life, kind of left me to, and I was like super arrogant too. I was arrogant to the fact of thinking like you'd be young forever, like
indestructible.
Invincible, right? So, from 18, I was like 180 pounds out of high school. And by the time I got to like 28, I was about 300, like 320, whatever. And I put on a whole human being. And a lot of that was just from just not taking care of myself. And I coach wrestling, so I always thought like, if I need to get in shape, I'll just start back wrestling and whatever. And then I'm coaching these kids and telling them to eat healthy, this, and that. But I'm like I'm a dollar millionaire, making it rain on the dollar menu, So I was very hypocritical, and I had my son at 26, and I remember that was like the first instant, like, all right, you gotta, the time is ticking, you need to get it together, whatever. So at 28, the heaviest I've ever been, laid off, depressed, got a son who's about to be 2, and just uncertain about life, and then being laid off, I had to move back home to my parents' house. So I was like, dang, I'm 28, living at home with my parents, out of shape. It was a perfect storm or whatever.
And then what happened?
And then, so
this is good.
This is where it gets good. So I feel like everybody got their triggers. Everybody got like a moment in their life where something just clicked. So I was taking one of our kids to this like off-season wrestling camp, and there was this coach named Coach Messenbrink, and he was like 45. But this dude was like in the best, ripped up, 6-pack. He's like tearing these kids up. He's like wrestling 18 and 20-year-olds, and he's in better shape than them. And he's just like super motivated. He's just all over the place. And I remember after the practice, I was like, Coach, man, I can't wait to lose some weight so I can wrestle with you, because you like, he just get me excited. And he like slapped me on the shoulder real hard and said, well, get on it then, buddy. And that's all it took for me. I'm like, what? Get on it then. It's like a challenge, right? So I took that, and I will never forget the day. It was March 1st of 2012. That's when I said, I'm gonna get together. I've been struggling with this for years. Since I've been laid off, and I'm like, I need to get together. And that day, that's like my rebirth day. That's the day I decided to take my life, back into my own control. So
you was getting paid for coaching wrestling, something that you was already passionate about, something that you had a passion for, helping other young people get good in their skills in their wrestling set. And then you decided to create your own business. Yeah. And the name of the business was Getting Tired.
Absolutely. Getting Tired Fitness. And that essentially came from just me getting tired. I was literally physically tired. I couldn't chase my 2-year-old, 3-year-old around. Mentally tired because I was just tired where
That's
I
where
was
you was
at.
at, yeah.
And we used tractor tires to do the workouts. So
Big 300-pound tires.
300-pound tires. And I just collect them, like go to different farms around the city or state, and they had these tractor tires they're going to throw away. And I was just like, all right, I'll take it from you, and I'll use those tires to work out with. And so from like March to like August, I like lost like 60 pounds. I was still laid off. I was motivated, eating healthy, eating a lot of mean green kale salads and the sweet potato and black bean. Not even the rolls yet. It was just like a wrap or whatever.
So did that come from like developing your own meal plan again? You started thinking about how that related to your exercise business? And
I was watching I was laid off, so I had watching plenty of documentaries. So if you go down that Netflix rabbit hole,
Oh, yeah.
documentaries, you come out to change person. So I watched like I can't even remember Food Matters.
Yeah, we're not plugging them. We're not plugging them.
Yeah,
That's not what we doing.
Yeah, whatever.
All right.
So I, learned about kale. And usually kale was just used as a ornament.
Garnish, yeah.
Garnish. Just, it's like the healthiest green out there. And then, really just learning about different foods. And then
How was the response? How did people respond to the idea of flipping tires and doing that whole physical regimen?
people were scared, but it was something different too. Cause I'm just like going to the gym and just all that. I mean, it's fine, whatever. But I just wanted to do something different, be outside, and do something non-traditional. That was it. So we did the tire workouts. We do like all outdoor boot camp style workouts, and for me it worked. And it was just really about being consistent. And the food was really what took it off. So after people see my results, my little sister Karma, my first client, and then PJ, and then they friends, and it just kind of grew from there.
And they saw it work.
I started, that came up with the business name when I was flipping the tire up a hill, and then the lady stopped me, like, "What are you doing with this tire? You're gonna hurt yourself." And I jokingly was like, "I'm getting tired," like I made a corny joke, and I was like, "Oh man, I am tired. I'm tired physically, mentally. I'm using the tire." Boom. So I applied for LLC August 1st of 2012, and the rest is history.
Getting Tired Fitness.
Yeah.
And so you would go through parks in the city and you would see TRUEman and 5 or 6 other people doing flips with these big tires, stretching and all of this, and beastie with it too.
Yeah.
It was beastie.
And I made I just made it a point to really just get active, no matter what it was. If this was with tire, if it was with, you got a dance team or whatever, just get out there, get tired, get moving, get your heart rate up, pick up something heavy and put it down. And then with the food aspect. So, the food, I kind of introduced that later into the year, but it felt so natural. It felt like this is what, I love food as a kid, and I love cooking as a kid, and it just flowed right. And then people started loving the food, and then people would be like, I don't want to work out with you no more because my tires are heavy, but can I get a mean green salad though? Or whatever. So that's how it started. So it was like getting tired. Then 2013 it was like getting tired kitchen. So we do like offering meal planning and meal prepping and stuff like that, and then that just kind of grew into something totally different.
And so now, just to give people the story. So now, Funky Fresh Spring Rolls, Funky Fresh Burgers, all that came out of Getting Tired.
Came out of Getting Tired. Yeah, Getting Tired is the parent of Funky Fresh Burgers, Spring Rolls, and funny thing, like I said, 2013, we was selling the foods, and like I said, mind you, I was still like out of my mama's house doing this at the time, and I got these tires stored in the back of their house. Their kitchen is turned to a commercial kitchen, and my dad is like, same support as dad, like, all right, you need to get the heck out of my house right now. You put sweet potatoes at 5 in the morning. You need to do something with that, son. So I'm like, you know what, I gotta do something. So I ramped up the food, ramped up the fitness. I just went full in. Like my unemployment ran out 2013. So it was like, all right, it's all on you now. And I just went hard. I just kind of, and then I think that year too, I learned about the law of attraction. That I was reading a lot of books. I watched The Secret. That was another, whatever. It's a good one. It's something else that just kind of changed me. And it's something that we always know. If you believe it, you can achieve it. as cliche as it is, like I truly believe
Mm-hmm.
if you could believe whatever, if you believe you could fly, you can figure out a way to fly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might not physically be a fly, but you figure out a way to get there.
So talk a little bit about when you had the transition, because some entrepreneurs, creative people that want to start a business or start some sort of entity, if it doesn't work or they feel pulled some another direction, that could be discouraging.
Yeah.
Right. And so to have to think about transitioning from the fitness service into a food service.
Yeah.
I understand your process was natural because one thing fit with the other so perfectly.
Yeah.
But talk about just for a second about as a creative, as an entrepreneur, like what did that mean for you in transition, like as you were figuring it out?
Yeah. It definitely didn't happen overnight. It took some years.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like just listening to that voice. I just say, if you believe in God, Jesus, Buddha, I just say the universe is universal, right? So I feel like the universe just like told me like, Funky Fresh is the way to go, right? It just whispered, and the more I believed in it, the louder it got. But I believe it was like overwhelming. Like I believe it. Like I believe this is what I'm supposed to be doing, or whatever. So for me, it was like that belief in a higher power. Like I feel like we were created, so we have to continue to create. You know, so we have a creator, so we have to create. You know, it's just a process where it just keeps going. And for me, I was like, that voice was everything, and I just ran with it. And it wasn't like I kind of hear it. It's like this is it. Even though however scary it looked, I just had the faith that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And even when I hit the stumbling blocks or whatever, I'm like, you know, that's kind of where my wrestling training came from. It's just like, you know, obstacle is just what it is. Obstacle, that doesn't mean it's a permanent thing.
That's right.
It's just
That's right.
figuring out a way to get through it. If there's a will, there's a way. That's
right.
what we just always
And if you
say.
fall, get up.
Yeah, just
Period.
all like the basic stuff.
That's right.
If at the end of the day, if there's a will, if you have the will to do something, you have to figure out a way to do it. You got to maybe find other resources. You got to put your ego to the side and ask for help.
So was Funky Fresh the first name you came up with? Funky Fresh Spring Rolls.
No. So it was Getting Tired Kitchen Healthier Spring Rolls. I still I want to jokingly make it like a logo with that or whatever. Just to be like, what the heck? So it was Getting Tired Kitchen Healthier Spring Rolls. Then it was just like, what's the name? So I did like a little game on Facebook. I'm like, I'm trying to come up with a name with this, whatever. Still at the time, I'm a personal trainer. But it was like, so we came up with Fit Rolls. I'm like, oh, that's generic. Then I came up with Power Rolls. I thought Power Rolls is it, right? I'm looking at it now like, Power Rolls? Like you power you up and people like, that sounds like a piece of workout equipment, right?
Yeah.
Then
Or a gymnastics move or something like that.
yeah, something.
Yeah.
So, what happened? I kind of tapped into hip hop, right? And I thought of what it was. Like it's something unique, it's different, it's funky, whatever. Use fresh ingredients. It happened like sorry. I came like within seconds. I'm like funky. It's funky fresh, rated dress. You know what?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's it. Funky Fresh Spring Rolls.
Yeah.
And then we changed it. We used to use egg roll wrappers. So went from egg roll wrappers to using spring roll wrappers. They low calories. And then literally I remember exactly where I was at, like, Funky Fresh Spring Rolls. That's it. Like, I called my graphic designer. He which turned to she, it's a long story on that one, they created the graphics for it. And the logo that we have is, like, I seen it. And that was the first one that the universe was like, that's it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, boom, that's it, Funky Fresh. So came with that in 2015. Like I remember that it was July 15th, 2015. Then I got it trademarked, or not trademarked, but got the LLC created. And then we could call it something now. Because before it was just like, we got these healthier spring rolls. My business is getting tired. It was just like too
much
confusing.
Yeah,
so just learning about, how to start. You got to be concise with your customers. You got to be direct. So Funky Fresh Spring Rolls kind of was born that year.
So as you started to realize, okay, this is becoming its own thing. I'm going to create this brand from this product that I've created that people are actually into. Were you seeing like results from sales? Were you seeing like was that a part of the motivating factor, like the money? Let's talk about the money part a little bit, because a lot of people have great ideas. A lot of people have great product, and maybe it's in their home, but they got a great product, and then it takes money to get it off the ground. You got to pay that graphic designer. There's different things that cost, regardless of your genius and your ability to resource internally. Then you got to go into the world. Them LLCs cost that. Like everything becomes a thing where a business have to invest in self.
Yeah.
So you super self-motivated, you super visionary in that way where you seen it, you had something you knew it'd work. How did the money part come into play for you?
Now this is the story gets a little dark because initially,
Yeah, because this ain't all fluff.
Oh,
It ain't all
God,
like
man.
somebody wake him up.
wake him up, man. It's
Before
my
I-
life story.
Before I throw something
You
at him.
fall asleep to my life
Well, I'm about
story.
to throw something at you. All right. Was you meditating? You soaking it all in? Oh, okay.
Oh, he's
all right,
resting
cool.
with his eyes.
Oh,
This
he's
is my
resting
mom
his
used to
eyes.
say.
Cool. Yeah.
It's all good.
All
man.
love.
Take your
All
time.
love.
Y'all was jumping, kids.
Yeah, I'm just joking, man. I'm just only telling my whole life, my whole heart right here, and you fall asleep, and I'm handing you my heart, man. All right, so initially I wasn't making any money. Like I thought I was. Like, all right,
That's what I wanna get
you
into.
take $80.
Yes, sir.
You make a bunch of food out of it. You get $200, $250 in return. You think all right, I made a profit, whatever. But the $80 is just the cost of the food. It wasn't the cost of my time. Wasn't the cost of me renting the space, the packaging, the forks, napkins, plates, the sauce cups. So initially, just me not knowing. I just figured I was making money. I wasn't charging enough or whatever. So like people like see our prices now. It's like a roll right now is $3.25, right? But people don't know it take $1.50 to make the roll, right? So they see like the Asian grocery stores, they're like, or Asian rolls, they're like, they only $1 or whatever. I'm like, I don't know how they making any money, but that's not my problem. I know how much exactly costs now, but back then I didn't know. So I was just like,
You were just doing your
I was-
passion,
yeah.
and you were actually like creating this formula, this recipe that
Yeah.
will work. Because I know
was-
that's a part of it in the food industry as
Yeah.
well. It's not just about the taste; it's about the presentation.
Yeah.
It's about how it look, right? Because you could buy something you think it tastes good, or you ate it before, all of a sudden they put it in front of you and it don't look right.
yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. So those first years were definitely research and development. And something that was, I would say, if anybody listening that's a food entrepreneur, like I think part of my like insecurities went into my prices because I was like scared to charge more because I was like, well, people might not buy it then if it costs what it should cost.
And
or
let's say
whatever.
that let's say that's not exclusive to food.
Oh,
Let's say that's across the board.
It's across the board.
That's right.
In every industry almost. And I just that lack of confidence. I'm like, is this really good or people just like me, And that, could have saved me. I would be sitting. I'll probably have some Jordans on right now. I wouldn't. But still, that's something that's important. I would say, early on, set your price to what it really is. Do massive amount of research on it. Competitors is good, but really see how much you want to make off of it, and don't undervalue yourself.
But you do want to like make it sweet out the gate. If people don't know,
Yeah.
and they never shopped with you before, you do want to like get them a little plug.
It's
you
a
wanna,
double-edged sword.
It is.
because
It is.
You want to
create loyalty.
You want to create a following, but then when that price when you got to raise the price, then you like, people, it's a little bit of
Challenge, yes.
I'm gonna tell you this honestly. I would go out the gate with I would just go out the gate with the price of what it is, and just be, deal with it, and like I deal with it still to this day. People are like, oh, $3.25 a roll, whatever, and like, especially with men, I know an easy way to get them to do it. I'm like, it's okay if you can't afford it, and then that male ego come out. They're like, oh, I got it, bro. Don't worry.
Let me get 6 of those. As a matter of fact,
I'm like, everybody can't afford a Maserati. I understand or whatever. Like, no, bro. I ain't like that, bro. So it is what it is. You got to stand on it that every product isn't for everybody
That's
either.
right.
You
That's
know,
right.
and
That's right.
It's something we want to just cast this big net.
But I will tell
all
these startups and entrepreneurs, don't outprice yourself out the gate.
Yeah.
Don't overprice yourself out of business out the gate because you think it's great.
It's possible to definitely overprice
Come on,
yourself.
bro. Especially out the gate, and especially if you have something unique and you haven't did the research, you haven't studied the market and the trends, and you may price yourself out of the game, out of business. And that don't just go for food, that go for all of you.
Yep.
Artists, creatives, entrepreneurs. Don't price yourself out.
Yeah. Yep. So it's finding that sweet spot.
That sweet spot. That's important.
Is very important.
And you grow. You only grow through that experience of actually doing it.
Yeah.
Right? You couldn't have did that from the sidelines. You had to start selling some spring rolls.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known.
You had to start selling dozens. You had to do pre-orders. Like these things start happening. Then you start thinking about, and now we doing burgers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So-
So we talked a little bit about the evolution. Started with the egg wraps and then the bam, bam, bam. And
Yeah.
then how did it
So
translate into you wanting to expand the menu?
So like I said, we've been doing Funky Fresh spring rolls
Because
for.
that's scary.
Oh, it is.
That's scary.
But I just can't help but to jump. I'm just I wish
That's
I wasn't.
risky.
I wish
That's
I wasn't
risky.
so risky sometimes.
Yo, I'm watching you do it. I'm like, oh, true. That's risky. I like it. I like
Oh my
it.
god!
I like it.
Like
That's risky.
so, yeah. So we've
You got 'em hooked.
I gotta say this though. With the rolls, we rolled a massive amount of rolls, and I think we went for me as far as we.
You got a count?
A count with.
How many rolls you done rolled?
Yes.
I bet you do.
Well, so it's close.
Estimate.
It's close to 500,000.
I know. Yeah.
It's close to 500,000 rolls. We ain't hit it yet. Last year we did 150,000.
Yeah.
And the year before that we did 120 or whatever. So it was like,
It's major.
man, it was like coming out the house, you know, like we was in the. I remember rolling my first like 100 rolls. I'm like, oh my god, this is a lot of rolls. And that was like we roll about 400, 500 rolls per day, whatever. We sell about 10,000 rolls a month, something like that. So for me, it's like I love the rolls, but when I was back in Getting Tired Kitchen, I had plenty of other stuff. I was doing burgers then. I was doing burgers. I was doing different salads and quesadillas and all that, but like good stuff. But the spring rolls is like a hit song that everybody wanted to keep hearing or whatever. I'm like, man, but I got a whole album of food. They're like, nah, play that spring roll joint,
that one.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, whoop, there it is. So it's like, for me, it's like I just need to keep creating. Like the burgers or the rolls are cool, and there's definitely a lot more to go with the rolls. But for me, I'm just a creator, and I have to keep creating other stuff. So I love burgers.
How do people respond to the Funky Fresh burgers?
People love. Let me tell you, people love these freaking burgers. It gets a little crazy. And on Burger Day, my anxiety is through the roof. That's something too. Anybody, be patient with your food service workers. Food service workers are definitely underpaid, underappreciated. You know, so have some empathy because we all human beings too. You know, granted, there are some people on the other side of the food service just rude as ever. But one thing at Funky Fresh, period, burgers, spring rolls, cupcakes, whatever we want to do is, our customer service, everything. We interaction before transaction. That's our motto. So speaking to people, engaging with people. That's why we do the freestyling. That's why we do the push-up discounts. That's why we do.
Yeah, you'll
all
see
different
TRUEman post something online. And he said, if you could do 15 push-ups, you get a discount or something to that effect.
Yeah,
And very, very active in the social media space. Shout out your website and where people can find you quick.
So you can find us on all social media platforms, Funky Fresh Spring Rolls or Funky Fresh Burgers, 2 separate accounts. Our website is funkyfresh.kitchen. We revamping our website soon. We're gonna have a Funky Fresh Spring Rolls website and a Funky Fresh, or we're gonna redo the Funky Fresh website. It's gonna be the burgers and it's gonna be the spring rolls. But the burgers has been the
I'm about to taste one on air too.
Try it.
So what about if they local in the area? Where can they find you?
You can find us Monday through Saturday at the Sherman Phoenix, 3536 West Fond du Lac Avenue. We open at 8:30 a.m., close at 6 p.m. We do the burgers every day, Monday through Friday. Saturday is just the rolls. But you can find us there. We got a food truck coming. We'll talk about that a little bit. Food truck coming this summer.
Exclusive.
Yeah, and then
So how's that been at the Sherman Phoenix? That's a big deal. A lot of people talking about it from all over the area.
Yeah.
The Sherman Phoenix is like
the Sherman Phoenix is like
it's a destination.
Little Wakanda. That's
Sure.
what I call it.
Okay.
Whatever. So if you don't know the story, it's pretty much that BMO Harris Bank, they got burnt down in the riots from the unfortunate incident of the young man losing his life to the police officer. And, the Phoenix Straight came from the ashes. And, 2 ladies, Joanne Sabir and Julie Kaufman, raised over $4 million, privately, publicly. And they created this space, opened up over 25 businesses of mostly color. And it's been open for over a year now. So if you haven't been,
color? They got white people in there?
they got one white person there.
that
Purple
right?
Door Ice Cream, they cool. They all right.
Oh, Purple Door, that's downtown too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
okay.
cool. Shout out Purple Door, Steve.
Yeah.
Fresh ice cream.
Yeah. Funky Fresh ice cream, though. Steve.
Oh, we coming. We
Might
coming.
get some healthier ice cream. I don't know. But the Sherman Phoenix has been amazing. You know, our business has increased since like we were over in the Grand. Our business increased literally 190% from the prior year at the Grand Avenue. So
And I mean, you're doing a lot of festivals. TRUEman is everywhere in the summertime, in the spring in Milwaukee, at the farmers markets, at the street festivals, the block parties, and you run up on him, and boy, he done sold out.
Yeah,
Way before the event is over.
You got to get there.
You got to get there.
We bring a certain amount.
That's right.
And we kind of keep it like that.
The demand is real.
We bring enough to last the whole time. Does it?
That ain't true.
We try to. I don't try to, like, they call it sandbagging, where you like only bring a couple and you sell out and make it look like it's, no, we ain't got no more. We really brought 50 rolls. We bring like 400 rolls, 500 rolls to these events.
Oh yeah, so get there and make sure you're checking out the social media to keep up with it as it's happening, as the weather breaking and all the other good stuff. Talk a little bit about employment, man. I mean, like once you're growing and expanding, then you need help, right? And good help is what?
Is very difficult sometimes.
Sometimes it's almost impossible.
Almost, but I just got faith that it works out always.
That's
no matter
right.
if somebody coming or going, I just got faith.
So talk about that from an employer standpoint.
Yeah.
You hiring young people, you hiring some of everybody.
Yeah, so
and you giving folks a chance.
This is something unique. That's what I call myself now. I'm not an entrepreneur anymore. I'm an employer. That's the new move.
I'm aware.
You know, so
you creating jobs.
We creating jobs. We paying taxes.
Boom.
Plenty of taxes. Jesus Jones.
Boom.
Whew, that's a whole nother podcast. But
Part 2.
yeah. So for me to be able to create jobs, and then I always wanted to not only create jobs, but give people a little bit higher wages in the food than they traditionally make at like Qdoba or whatever. I've seen like the manager at Qdoba makes like $10, $11, whatever. So we start everybody at $8.50. I don't care who it is. You do 2 weeks, and then your pay increase based off of your performance. I feel like I know immediately if you're fit or not, and we try to just be transparent as possible. Employees make the business. There's no business bigger than employees. So for us, we make everybody feel valued. We pour into it. We do a lot of training, but then we pay well too. So after the $8.50, go anywhere from 10, 12, 14. Like we pay, I think decent wages now for a small food business. So for me, it was always important to just give people opportunities that, and be a little bit more patient than a traditional job. Because I get it. If it's your first job, you're showing up on time and, staying busy, staying active. And in this generation of these cell phones, it's like, I don't even blame you because it's there. It's like a part of you. Like when your phone is off or your phone is broken, you feel like disconnected. Like where like a part of you is missing. So I just accept it. It is what it is. We're in a different time. I don't expect people to be different, but for me, just really showing people that, you could take an idea, you could work hard at it, and you could make something great out of it. For me, that's the biggest achievement I could have is just that inspiration to other people that look like me. Like I don't have any special talents other than just being relentless. So taking that, relentlessness and fire and mixing that with your passions and being creative and unique with it. That's my formula for success.
Give me two ideas of, I guess, suggestions or advice you could offer to any youngsters that want to get into the workforce and maybe thinking about the food industry, service industry, and they may have not had any mentoring or experience on that level. What's 2 things that you would tell a young employee that would really set them up for that success?
I would say first, just leave your ego at the door. Okay. It's okay not to know something. A lot of times we feel like, if we don't know, we just give up or whatever. So, it's okay not to know. It's okay to ask questions, to reach out for help. So just asking as much questions as you can, and then I would say find somebody who's solid, surround yourself with a solid circle of people. Like if you're the smartest, the best dressed, the most educated, the most athletic person in your crew, then you need to find some people who are better than you in all those aspects, and that's what kind of push you. So surrounding yourself with good people and just being continue to learn. No matter if you washing dishes somewhere, it's somebody somewhere that's the illest dishwasher in the world, and I'm sure he may or may not get paid what he want, but he's valued and he's appreciated at what he does. So find people like that who just better than you.